What's going on, guys? This is Kaishro, welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video we're going to cover China City Tournament 2024 Chengdu that was concluded on December 1st, 2024 and had a 506 player count. So usually China often host China City Tournament. This is like the mini YCS for their regions. So we all know China is a very large country with a lot of population, probably one of the most populated countries in the world. So it is just rocket science that they would have events like China City Tournament to corporate people and various players in the country. So we do have the Chengdu tournament and it was post Terminal World 2. So this could be the very good parameter of what happened after Terminal World 2 and how it impacted the overall metagame scene. So we do have day 1 of 9 rounds of Swiss with top 32 cut advancing to day 2, and with top 32 it will be single elims only. So moving on first, we do have the results of the top 16. As you can see, we already have a bunch of Ryzels here and we're going to cover each deck of those people. And moving on, we do have the champion. We do have Ryzel. So the latest iteration of Ryzel would be playing it with more hand traps rather than board breakers like Talent, for example, Droplet, or even Limatch on the main deck. It has been a thing for the previous first 2-3 weeks of Ryzel. People are playing Droplet extensively, but people have been opting to play Ryzel with more hand traps. So it derives on this build that it played 3 talent on the main deck. Imagine that, 3 talent, not 2 but 3. He wants to trade card for card and card advantages for the recent trend of Ryzel, where most people would run Ogre, Nibiru, and things like Fualas, no, for example. So they are fixated on playing more hand traps, and this could be a really good meta call to innovate on the Ryzel right now. Playing 3 talent could be your antidote for the Fletora and barrage of hand traps on the mirror match. And looking on this list, it also played Sharks. Sharks, very interesting. I cannot really stress enough how important innovating the Ryzel is. No matter how streamlined the deck could look, I do believe that it has rooms for expression, a little room to use your own uniqueness, your own flavor, and also your own preference to make the deck work in your favor. So, as the champion of this tournament, he really wanted to play a different approach and integrated the Shark engine, which could be a very good extender and can also be a very good resilient engine for this Ryzel. So looking on the extra deck, it was pretty usual, nothing to say too much about this. Just played really weird rank 4s like the water rank 4 and also the Ophion. So yeah, it is pretty standard and it deviates from the usual Ryzel that plays Donner for hire. It has been the usual link out for the Ryzel extra deck, but this player didn't opt to play the for hire. And on the side deck, it also played one Typhoon. So Typhoon is massive for this format. I really can't tell that Typhoon could clutch a lot of situations. And on the back row decks, rogue decks, and floodgate decks, this card can be very handy. And on this format, you don't really play Cosmic Cyclone that much. So Typhoon could really surprise a lot of people and turn the tides of the game in your favor in a very short, drastic moment. So on this side deck, it also played a bunch of going first cards. Imagine that we do have three barrier and two judgment with one solemn, rather one summon limit. So you have like six going first cards, and it is very easy to slot in those cards on the main deck when going first because you have like 20 room for non-engine on the main deck. So it is very easy to side in, side out cards and be flexible enough for your different circumstances in game 2 and 3. And moving on, we do have another Ryzel. So this is more of a usual or the standard Ryzel right now. They just play Ghost Ogre on the main deck, Nibiru and Droll. Those are the more popular choice for Ryzel right now. I think that if you want to play Ryzel right now and you just want to learn the deck or you are new for the deck, you might as well just copy and paste this build because it is very functional. You could never go wrong with this type of build because you want to have the output of Ogre, Droll, and Nibiru for the various meta decks out there like Mementotlan, Voices Voice, Tenpai Dragon, and even the likes of White Forest, no? So you have like the best hand traps to be suited in this current meta game, and it proves to be effective because this player just went second on a very large China tournament, no? It is not just a minor region tournament. China is a major region in OCG. And yeah, it also played the Donor. It is evident that people are trying to use Donor over Little Knight because it is an instant out and can be capitalized very much on this Ryzel. And on this side deck, it played a Mischief Nomes. This is crazy. Against the mirror match, it is crazy. And other decks like Synchro decks and other level centric decks, they would really be rattled for this card. And it is a very massive tech card going first. And it would be really unpredictable. No people would ever expect it on this tournament. And I think it played a large factor on his success. Next would be third place and another Ryzel. This time it played Droplet. This is the more usual Ryzel from before. They have been integrating Droplet because of the going second weakness of Ryzel. No matter how Ryzel is very capable, very strong, very linear, it also has struggles going second. That's the glaring issue of the deck. You would really want to have cards that does something going second and does a lot in going second because relying on your engine could be really short-handed, could be really uh, minuscule enough to break the opponent's board. So you want to rely on talent, for example, droplet, and sometimes evenly match, no? We have seen the trust evenly, Ryzel from before. So yeah, it is also notable that he played Desires and Prosperity altogether to maximize the consistency of the deck. And on the side deck, it is pretty much standard. 3 Judgment, 2 Barrier, and 1 Summon Limit. It has been the most integrated going first cards for Ryzel, especially Judgment to protect your board, the Barrier to skip your opponent's turn, and Summon Limit, of course, Notorious card, can be really be banned this January. We will see whether Summon Limit can withhold the January ban list. And moving on next, we do have Ryzel. So just looking on our top 4, it is all Ryzel. Imagine that. That sounds really crazy. And it speaks volume on how powerful the Ryzel is in this current meta game. In large tournaments, you would want to bank on the best available deck that you could play. And with Ryzel, you could never go wrong with this type of deck. Imagine that half of your deck is non-engine and you have like rooms to be innovated, going first, going second, it doesn't matter. You could also be very flexible and versatile on this Ryzel, and that's why Ryzel is the best in this meta. And looking on this list, it played Book of Eclipse. Imagine that. How ballsy can you be to play Book of Eclipse on a large tournament? It is really crazy when you consider that Book of Eclipse can be ashed or sometimes can do nothing against, for example, Malice, for example, no, or other matchups. It is really ballsy to play Book of Eclipse on this type of tournament, and he is confident that he will win with Book of Eclipse. He definitely knows how to properly calibrate the Book of Eclipse in this current meta. And moving on his side deck, he didn't opt to play Judgment because Judgment would be just too stuffy when you consider that you're already playing the barrier and also you want to make rooms for Lancea to answer the Malice, no? So sometimes the judgment could get cut off. And moving on, next we do have Steel Ryzel. Oh my goodness. 5 out of 8 already would be Ryzel. Imagine that. That just sounds crazy and ridiculous at this point. But looking on this list, it proved to be very effective playing Ogre, playing Nibiru. This is how I want to play Ryzel right now, to be honest. I also play Ryzel, but not in a really frequent degree. But if you want to just play the best out there, just slap in Ogre, Nibiru, Veiler, it would work. You don't really have to worry about too much on Ryzel. And Jade played Bell, no? Interesting choice, Bell. Sometimes people also consider GD Crow, but Bell is the more appropriate choice for me because Bell is more well-rounded and could be hurting a bunch of rogue decks in this meta. Infernoid, other stuff like those graveyard crazy decks could be rattled with Bell. Next would be wow, we do have a very spicy. When we say spicy, it is legitimately spicy and really unconventional. Trickstar Tachyon. Imagine that. How could you be able to comprehend that Trickstar Tachyon would win a large tournament in 2024, almost 2025? Imagine that. Tachyon is just really crazy. Boosting the going second of Trickstar, you're able to have a confident deck going first and going second, with Trickstar containing the game, controlling the tempo, and Tachyon offers you that raw power going second. And looking on this list, it is very well executed, shifter, flawless, imperm, with your usual Ash and Maxi. It just looks beautiful. No matter how you look at it, it just looks plain, decent, and have that unique touch of perfection. And also play triple draw and on the side deck and one light kaiju, no? The Thunder Kaiju could be really interesting because we still have a bunch of towers and also Omni Negate threats, Appaloosa, Barone, the Fleur, and all of those crazy high attack monsters could be jousted with one Kaiju. And next would be Primate Blue Eyes. This is probably one of the most hottest deck in the OCG, especially in Japan and Korea right now. People have been enthusiastic for Blue Eyes with Primate. Primate is just your better version of Adventure and Finsmith in this deck. It is like an engine that gives you grind game and also interruption potential and also starters as well. So you could never go wrong with this and it doesn't take too much space. Matter of fact, it would make the blue eyes more linear, more resilient, and also more simplified because you're able to run Imperms, Dominus Purge, Veiler, even Nibiru on the main deck, no? So it doesn't take too much space and also you're also going to be able to interrupt the opponent's back row and untargetable cards and other stuff, no, on the meta. And also you could be shifting away towards the usual magia. You don't really have to rely on magia on this type of deck. And even Cipher is not even played here, no, just play the Crimson Dragon with Blazer and let the spirit do the job for your deck, no. So it is really strong and probably a top 5 deck in my own opinion. Next, we do have another Primate Blue Eyes. This time, only 2 Dominus Purge and maximize the copy of Nibiru on the main deck because why not? Ryzel could get rattled with Nibiru, Malice would lose, and even the Blue Eyes Primate would also struggle with Nibiru, and a lot of decks right now, Snake Eyes, White Forest, all of those, Mementotlan, they would all struggle with Nibiru. So it is very rational to play it right now. And the flavor of December would be none other than the XYZ Encore. People in Japan have been very hot for XYZ Encore for quite some time already now. They have been really testifying the strengths of the XYZ Encore on large locals and events in Japan, and it is very much successful to a degree that I somehow consider it as a tech, a very solid tech in this meta. To answer the Ryzel, of course, it's just only prevalent due to the Ryzel's uh, impact in this meta. And next would be Malice. Our first Malice in our report could be pretty underwhelming considering that Malice should be the second best deck. But looking on this list, it just looks really solid with Eclipse, Droplet, can go second, Withdrawal, just stunning the opponent and literally making them out of the game And the Bestials, of course, with Lubellion, Magnamut, Druisworm, and you didn't even play Baldrake. So you just want to rely on your sheer power as a deck with draw power engine and also your extenders from the form of that Scaper and Bestial. So those can be really handy on those large tournaments when you don't know what to face or how the tournament will shape because it is very dicey. The format is really wild and wide open for a lot of decks. And yeah, it played once again Mischief of Gnomes no on side deck. So this could be really interesting. People could be more invested on playing Mischief of Gnomes due to how successful it is on China. Next would be Ryzil. Pretty standard. Two Follows, one Ogre, one Droll, one Veiler. Probably just raw cross out targets. And double talent, of course, to answer the hand traps. And what you change of heart, no? Interesting choice and evenly matched. Finally, we have seen evenly matched. This could be really interesting against Runic, against Labyrinth, against Voices Voice, against Mementotlan, against Snake Eyes. They would all struggle with evenly. Even the Ryzil could also be rattled with evenly. So it's just perfect to play evenly right now, even though it is not the most popular choice. And next would be Centurion in our report. And of course, Centurion control. I just believe that this is the best way to play Centurion right now. We have seen Bestial Centurion, White Forest Centurion, Toy Centurion, and even the likes of Finsmith Centurion or other Dragon Link Centurion. No, there's a bunch of Centurion builds going around from the past 3 months already. And I just firmly believe that Centurion should be played in this manner with deck lockdown, with summon limit, and just played one Magnamut and one Druid's Worm and call it a day, no? You don't really have to overcomplicate the Centurion right now. This is a very functional mid-range deck with lots of room for hand traps, staples, non-engine, and also going first cards. And you'll also be able to play around your own floodgates as well. That's really massive. It is like you're playing a Sword Soul with an infinite recursion and also an more interactive approach into the game. But in a sense that you could be interactive and also be able to play floodgates like Deck Lockdown, Summon Limit, Skill Drain, for example, no, that is so massive. And your going first is just so phenomenal in my own retrospect around this build. And next would be Finsmith Centurion. This is the more explosive version of Centurion. You would want to play the Lacrimosa, the Luri, the Engraver, and you're be able to play the Finsmith line of play when your Centurion gets rattled or kinda interrupted, no? So it is more a win more type of build and could also be improve your resiliency, but it would also make your Centurion much more prone to maxi and also prevalent hand trap choices in this metagame like Droll, for example. And looking on this list, he contemplated playing the Clockdown and the Barrier with Tisibu and Summon Limit on the side deck. Probably he just wants to fit in those floodgates when going first. So yeah, that sums up our China City Tournament Chengdu 2024 metagame report and decklist reviews. So if you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys. So once again, thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.